Should we get started? Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning for today's session on understanding the option for grade retention in school year 2021-2022, presented by Sophia Tan. My name is Roger Ideshi. I use he, him pronouns. I am a Japanese American man with dark but increasing gray hair. I have rimless glasses and I'm wearing a blue and green checkered shirt. My screen background is blue with the words Chinatown Disability Advocacy Project. I am part of the Chinatown Disability Advocacy Project, a group of parents and community members who educate and advocate for inclusion in education, healthcare, and social life. Before we begin today's session, I'd like to go over a few functions for this virtual presentation. Today's session is being recorded, so you can watch this recording later if you are unable to stay the entire time. This recording will be posted to YouTube for your viewing. We will share more information at the end of this session. We have ASL and Mandarin Interpretation. For Mandarin Interpretation, you will find the globe circular icon at the bottom of your screen. Click on that icon and select Chinese. During the presentation, we ask that you mute your microphone for the best sound quality from the speaker. If you have any questions, please put your question in the chat box. The chat box icon is also at the bottom of your screen. You can write your question in English or Chinese. We will get to as many questions as time allows. We will not use any personal identifying information when we pose the question to our speakers. We will also stop recording when we get to the question and answer part of the presentation. I'm going to now hand it over to Mandy Lin to describe this slide in Mandarin.
Okay, Mandy, you're unmuted.
不好意思，我刚才没听到中文的部分，你可以说一遍要我做什么吗？
对，就是解释人家怎么选中文在 Zoom toolbar 下面。
OK， 好的。对，我们可以在 iPad 或者手机的屏幕上，你可以看到更多，或者说英文的 more 还有3个点，然后你点
Mandy，
或者说有个像地球的图标，然后你点击进去后呢，会看到语言传译或者 interpret 这个按钮，点进去，然后你可以选择中文，然后再把原始音频给静音，这样子你就可以很清晰的听到我们的中文翻译。
对，很好。Yeah. So Mandy just practiced.
Today's speaker is Sophia Tan, an attorney from the Education Law Center. I'd also like to thank our interpreters from DHCC, a nonprofit organization providing ASL interpreting service and community programs. Today's ASL interpreters are Rebecca Suskin and Jennifer McGowan. Today's Mandarin interpreter is Agnes Collison of the Chinatown Disability Advocacy Project. Today's presentation is hosted by the Chinatown Disability Advocacy Project, the Education Law Center, the Philadelphia Chinatown Development Corporation, and the Mayor's Commission on People with Disabilities. Founded in 2015, the Chinatown Disability Advocacy Project is a community of immigrants with disabilities, families, advocates, government, and grassroots partners, and we advocate for systematic change, language access, disability justice, and inclusion in the greater Philadelphia area. We hold monthly workshops, education sessions, and community activities so people have information to best plan for themselves and their families. In 2021, the Chinatown Disability Advocacy Project founded the Philadelphia COVID-19 Health Equity Coalition. Our volunteer leaders are Anna Pern, Mandy Lin, Ming-Ting Chen, Agnes Collison, and me, Roger Ideshi. I'm going to now hand this over to Sophia to introduce another of our sponsors, the Education Law Center.
Thank you so much, Roger, and thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Sophia Tan, and I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm an attorney at the Education Law Center. I am of Chinese American descent, and I'm wearing my glasses because I can't see much without them. I'm wearing a nice blue cardigan with a black top underneath, and today I'm using a virtual background, which is mostly white, but I have a nice little plant behind my right shoulder. So just to give a little bit more information about Education Law Center today, we are a statewide legal nonprofit organization with a mission to ensure access to a quality public education for all children in Pennsylvania. And we do focus on some of our most underserved students across the state, such as children living in poverty, children of color, children with disabilities, children in the foster care and juvenile justice systems, children experiencing homelessness, English learners, the LGBTQ+ students and gender nonconforming students, as well as those students who have many of these intersectional identities. So the information you have in front of you is our Philadelphia office, which is located downtown on JFK Boulevard. We are currently all working remotely, but you can always call our intake line, which is 215-238-6970 if you have any questions and would like some assistance. Thank you.
And now Anna Pern's going to introduce the Philadelphia Chinatown Development Corporation and the Mayor's Commission on People with Disabilities.
Thank you, Roger. My name is Anna Pern. I use she, her pronouns. My Zoom background is blue with white letters that say Chinatown Disability Advocacy Project. We want to thank one of our partners who's sponsoring today's workshop, Philadelphia Chinatown Development Corporation. DCDC is a grassroots, nonprofit, community-based organization. Their mission is to preserve, protect, and promote Chinatown as a viable ethnic, residential, and business community. Next slide, please. They provide a number of services to residents in the greater Philadelphia area, such as housing counseling, neighborhood planning and advocacy, working on the commercial corridor, youth programming, affordable housing, and civic engagement. And I'll put in the chat box a link to the contact information for these organizations. Next slide. We also want to thank the Mayor's Commission on People with Disabilities, which advocates for policies, programs, and systemic changes that maximize independence and community integration for Philadelphians with disabilities. MCPD also provides resources and referrals to local organizations that support residents with disabilities. The Commission also educates the community on the Americans with Disabilities Act, the Fair Housing Act, and other laws that protect the civil rights of people with disabilities. You can find the Commission at Philadelphia City Hall from 260B, and they also do intake at 215-686-2798. Our Constituent Services Director's name is Claudia Tasco. Our Executive Director is Amy Millar. And again, I'll put in the chat a Google Doc with the websites and other contact information for these amazing organizations. And we want to give a special acknowledgement to Diane Perry, who is here from Peel Center. Peel Center is a wonderful statewide resource as well. So thank you so much to Diane and to members of our Philadelphia Coalition of Special Education Advocates for getting the word out about today's presentation. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Sophia Tan.
Great, so I will begin sharing my screen. Okay. So This presentation is just to provide an overview about the new bill, SB 664, that has recently been passed into law and is now also called Act 66. So it is a new law that provides for grade retention for the upcoming school year of 2021-22. So apologize if this bar is in the way. Let me move that. I don't even know where to put that. Okay. So just some information about what this SB or Senate Bill 664 Act 66 is. So there is a link in this presentation, the slides I can share after today's workshop. So the bill is for the student grade level retainment. And it is a new law that allows students with disabilities who have turned 21 before the start of the next school year an option to remain in school for the upcoming 2021-22 school year. It also allows all students in Pennsylvania the option to be retained if they so choose during the 2021-22 school year. So the goal of this bill is to address some of the concerns about education that occurred during the COVID-19 pandemic. As just additional information, we did have the Pennsylvania General Assembly pass Senate Bill 664, which the governor later signed into law as Act 66 on June 30th. So who is eligible for this grade retention option? So for students with IEPs, there is a focus on students who have reached 21 years of age before the start of the next school year. These are students who should be attending the following school entities. So you'll see we have traditional public schools, students who are in intermediate units, students who are attending approved private schools, most charter schools, if most or really all charter schools, both regional and cyber charter schools, students participating in career and technical schools, as well as students in schools for the education of the deaf and blind. So what do schools have to do because of this law? So if parents or guardians elect to have their students retained in the same grade, they must enroll these students and have them repeat the same grade that they were in last year for this upcoming 2021-22 school year. They also must implement the students' most recent IEPs or individualized education plans. The law also requires school entities to take all steps necessary to comply with the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or the IDEA, as well as all relevant state laws. Services also must be given for these students over 21 years of age starting in this upcoming school year under the IDEA. And these services must continue throughout the entire school year. So for all students, regardless of disability, students who have reached 18 years of age before the start of this upcoming school year are also eligible to remain enrolled in school. And these students include students who attend, again, traditional public schools, students who go to intermediate units for their education, students who are in private schools or a non-public school entity, students in both regional and cyber charter school programs, as well as students who are in career and technical schools. There are some exceptions for what types of programming these students are eligible for, but specifically around interscholastic athletics, which I'm providing information on here. And it's just to limit or to not allow this additional year if students are retained next year to affect how long they are eligible to participate in interscholastic athletics. So how do you make that choice to have students retained for in the same grade in the 2021-22 school year? So parents or guardians for students under age 18 must notify their school that they want to opt for this election before or by July 15th, 2021. For students who are over the age of 18, they have the right to make this choice themselves, and they must do so by July 15th. And this decision must be made to your student's school. If these, if parents or the guardians or the students themselves do elect for grade retention, schools must honor these decisions and place students in the same grade if they receive this option by July 15th, 2021. The law also requires that the Pennsylvania State Department of Education must create an election form that is standardized for everyone to use if they want to notify their school of this decision to retain the student. This form must be published on the State Department of Education's website, and PDE, or the Pennsylvania Department of Education, has informed us that this form will be available on July 6th, so on Tuesday. And linked here for the Pennsylvania Department of Education is actually the guidance that they issued yesterday regarding how they believe schools should implement this new law. So regarding the decision of retaining a student, we just wanted to provide some points of consideration. We understand that grade retention is a complicated decision for parents or guardians or students who have reached age 18. First of all, this law is offering parents and guardians, as well as students over 18, the choice of retaining or repeating a grade, and schools must honor that request if that decision is made by July 15th. However, it may not be the only or the best option to address any learning challenges that students may have experienced during the pandemic. We also wanted to share that research studies do show that retention does not necessarily lead to better outcomes for students. For students with IEPs in particular, we do want to highlight that this option is not a substitute for compensatory education. And the IDEA and students' rights to a free and appropriate public education, or a FAPE, they still apply. So any of the protections and processes that support students with disabilities under federal and state special education laws are still in effect and can still be used. The State Department of Education also recommends that the IEP team meet to discuss and review data to determine a student's placement. And when I say meet, I mean that can come in a variety of ways, but that they do encourage that this placement decision, this retention decision, be something that the IEP team makes. Now, this is only a recommendation. Of course, as I said, this law provides parents or guardians, as well as students over 18, ultimately, that choice. So some common questions we've seen raised about Act 66, the first being, who gets to choose? For students who are under age 18, parents or guardians are the individuals who have that right to make that choice for retention. For students over age 18, the right actually goes to the students. They have the right to choose retention. We understand parents and guardians may have input and of course are able to support students who ultimately will be the ones making that choice for the upcoming school year. So another question is, does Act 66 apply to early intervention or specialized instruction in preschools or for students who are pre-kindergarten age? The law itself is not clear if retention is available for early intervention services. And in Philadelphia specifically, this is Elwyn, provides early intervention services. However, we did see in PDE's guidance from yesterday that preschool students are not eligible for retention. So schools and early intervention programs are likely not to honor this request related to preschool age students specifically. So another question we get is, how does Act 66 affect continued eligibility for special education or for school after students turn 21? So this law is allowing another year of education for students with disabilities who have turned 21 years of age before the upcoming school year. So these students may and will turn 22 during or after this upcoming school year, but they have that right, which extends a year of eligibility for them beyond compulsory school age for this upcoming school year. However, this law does not allow all students with disabilities the right to stay in school until age 22. This is a time-limited law that is focused on only this upcoming 2021-22 school year for students to attend school until age 22. So if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. Again, our staff are all working remotely in our Philadelphia and our Pittsburgh offices, but please feel free to reach out to us through our intake lines. The Philadelphia intake line is 215-238-6970. And we cover both Eastern Pennsylvania as well as Central Pennsylvania. And our Pittsburgh office, their intake line is 412-258-2120, and they cover Western Pennsylvania. So please feel free to call us if you have any questions.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Sophia. Would you mind putting the slides back under eligibility in case families may have questions or need to look at it one more time?
Sure. Let me get that back up. Let me get to that slide first, and then I can reshare the screen. And are you talking about specifically the eligibility page for students with IEPs?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll share that right now.
Okay, great. And as Roger mentioned, we'll stop recording so families can ask their questions, but we'll post this recording to YouTube for later viewing. So I'll stop recording now.